Probably the biggest challenge in the wet tropics is cost price squeeze. The costs continue to go up on harvesting and nutrients inputs and productivity, but on the environmental front, probably the biggest challenge there is the management of nutrients and pesticides.
Despite all the new varieties and the latest fertiliser technology, etc., people are noticing that their yields are declining. Farmers are noticing that their soils aren't functioning as well as they used to. They're noticing an increased incidence of fungal diseases and insect attacks in their crops. And because of all of those, when you put all those factors together, it costs a lot more to produce something.
It's a challenge for me now to sit here and say, come farming. The input costs are high compared to the rest of the world. So we're faced with doing it very, very well. Otherwise, there's nothing in it.
If you look into the farmer's transition, it's a gradual change. So you can't just go to them, okay, stop what you're doing, and you can't put this much of urea or phosphorus or this thing, and you are killing your soil ecology. But rather, it's important to educate them on the role of the biology and what's actually happening, naturally in the soil.
I think it's going to take a while to catch on because it's a big step from conventional farming. But I think it's something we're going to have to look at if we're going to be sustainable into the future.
You sow the seed in an Australian cane farmer's mind, and he'll think about it for a while, and then he'll come out with something innovative or creative. And if it makes him money, he's going to run really quickly and adopt and make change.
I've found that they've observed their soil their whole life, a lot of those guys, and they'll come out with amazing observations and knowledge. So their knowledge is really important, but it's about getting that out and sharing it and learning from it.
Growers learn from growers. They learn from each other's experiences, and especially when you partner with them with a research organisation, you build that scientific robustness, or with people who have good sound knowledge of agricultural or sustainability practices, they get a lot more out of it.
The change in using compost started probably 10 years ago when we went overseas to China to look for chemical fertilisers at a cheaper price. And we found out all liquid fertilisers is salt-based. They add the NPK, whatever, and then they dry it and put it in a bag. So I thought, geez, this can't be good. And you could see the residues in the field. And I guess going out there and buying chemical fertilisers, a semi-load every month or two, is just ridiculous. Something's going to give, isn't it?
We're always trialling new things, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I try to keep things in balance, and it's things like my nitrogen source isn't urea. In fact, I never ever use urea. It's things like calcium nitrate. So when the plant's taking up nitrogen, it's also forced to take calcium, which gives you shelf life. So I'm trying to maximise my margin by increasing yield and increasing the value of the product that I'm producing.
There is a future in farming, I think, because everyone, that life is based on food.
To think that in 15 to 20 years' time, we'll learn more, and there's way more to learn without using chemical fertilisers.